inside the Bryce Jordan Center. And the Hawkeyes, Austin, as I mentioned, just 1-5 in their last 6 trips to this building.
Yeah, it's been a tough place for them to play. What you're in tune for today is an Iowa group that's one of the most efficient offenses in the entire conference, if not the nation. And Penn State that likes to try to get downhill, attack the rim, and play in open space in transition as well.
Iowa team has been struggling with starts. Happened against Ohio State. And that's one of those guys they need to get going, Cooper Koch. But the offensive rebound for Tavion Banks.
A lot of interchangeable parts, these tweeners that can go and do a little bit of everything on the basketball court for the Hawkeyes, knock down some open shots, also eat glass.
And they get the second look, and that's a big one. Koch, his last 6 games, just 23% from beyond the arc, but he is such a capable shooter.
Yeah, son of Hawkeyes, an NBA player, J.R. Koch. He's a dead-eye shooter, and you got to get into the rhythm early, especially on the road. Good sign.
State hasn't played since last weekend after a rough start. Got hammered in Lincoln against the Cornhuskers. It's knocked out of bounds by Stirtz. It will stay with the Nittany Lions. And Bennett Stirtz, as good as it comes in the conference. And Austin, he has scored at least 20 or more in 10 of his last 11 games.
Yeah, he's taken the long road to success, which I appreciate. Started at the D2 level, dominated, moved up with a heavy billing and a lot of expectations this year. And what has he done? Just replicate. He can go out and get you 30 points on any given night.
Deep in the shot clock. Josh Reed saw it, had to get it off.
Iowa zoning up Penn State. Penn State is not a good three-point shooting team. They're going to have to find ways to get them out of it.
Extra kick, open look, great ball movement early. It's Stirtz down the lane. Can't finish. Excellent. A lot of plays, Austin, at the rim. Both these teams like to get in the lane.
For sure.
In the 3, open 3. Dillion knocks it down.
One of the keys to the game is if these 3 Nittany Lions that are all averaging over double digits can go above and beyond their season averages, and that's a good start for Dillion.
Dale Combs trying to drive baseline. Sit back, still 12 to shoot for the Hawkeyes. The engine of this offense, Bennett Stirtz, fades away, soft touch.
Josh Reed gets the initial matchup at 6'8", might be a tad too slow. Bennett Stirtz is attacking those feet, making his mind up even before he gets the basketball.
Stirtz was looking for Stewart the whole way. That is something you cannot do against Iowa. They feast off points on turnovers. Combs spins and floats it in.
Slow start was problematic against Ohio State in the last one. Not so much here. Not a ton in attendance, but you got to be able to self-manufacture energy on the road, and Iowa is coming with the right type of attitude and approach.
Iowa got down at home 14-2 to the Buckeyes on Wednesday night. And from that point on, went on a 21-1 run.
Something in that under 16 timeout flip for them.
Body control, Urich fell to the floor.
Good slip right there, but moved the basketball a little bit too much, resulting in a miss.
One of the best things for Iowa, the ball never sticks. That movement on the offensive end. Stirtz, that's a 3.
Good shot right there for him. Penn State hard hedging and showing. There's going to be a lot of slip opportunities for the big setting for Iowa.
Josh Reed playing so well down the stretch. A lot of contact from Maniau. Urich cannot save it. It is back to the Hawkeyes. Ben McCollum, from his days at Northwest Missouri State to Drake to Iowa, 15 consecutive seasons with at least 20 wins, and for the Hawkeyes, it's their first in 5 years.
81% career winning percentage, like Nuff said right there. He's won at every single level, and the reason being he is so competitive. We were joking around with him before the game about how he's competitive in every aspect of life. He still plays and gets after it himself as well, and he wants to dominate you.
And to find the best way to get his team prepared to get into the NCAA tournament and move through it. Josh Reed, Koch, a lot of contact, no foul called. And Josh Reed, he was patient in the paint, he scored.
It's a good job getting to that weak side, isolating Reed. Good balance right there, multiple pivots until he's able to get the angle. Koch goes over and he doesn't get flustered.
Floater for Combs over the outstretched arms of Urich.
Holmes was an X factor in that game against Ohio State. Held Bruce Thornton, reigning Big Ten Player of the Week, to 10 points in that one.
Rich trying to back down Fulgaris, who just checked in. And he does back the Spaniard all the way to the basket.
The poise, calmness in the paint by Juric right there. Fulgaris was pushing him out almost towards the three-point line, and he never got flustered.
And Juric has about 25, 30 pounds.
Yep. And he used it right there to get to his spot.
Harris coming off a season-high 20 points in the win against the Buckeyes.
And I think that he made a really good point that sometimes when you remove somebody from your starting lineup, that messes up their flow. And in guys who are used to being able to monitor games, such as Alvaro Fulgaris, seeing how he can go in there and be impactful immediately, you don't want to throw it off, especially as you get closer and closer to postseason play.
You think about it, with this game today, the Hawkeyes, 3 regular season games left. Whatever they're able to accomplish in Chicago in the Big Ten tournament, there's just not that much time left to be changing things on the fly. Gianni off the bench called for an offensive foul.
But a quick start is imperative here. And the reason being is if you look ahead, and obviously you don't want to do that if you're any Big Ten team, who do you have staring down the barrel for you as the Iowa Hawkeyes? You got Michigan next, and then you got to go back to Nebraska. 2 top 25 teams. You know neither one of those contests are going to be easy, so you got to take advantage of the non-ranked opponents.
Michigan last night with the road win at Illinois claimed the regular season outright Big Ten title. Isaiah Howard off the bench found Combs, and that is 6 early points for Cale Combs. He only averages 5.5 a game.
Doesn't stop moving when he doesn't have the basketball. Phenomenal 45 cut right into the sweet spot. And how about the flotation device?
Dominic Stewart, and that's a big shot. He has been playing so much better, but 0 of 6 from 3 the last 2 games, and they need him to stretch the defense.
And he's taken the necessary jump from freshman year to sophomore year, gotten more strong in the weight room. He keeps progressing in the right direction.
Yeah, Howard trying to penetrate. It's Fulgaris in the corner. And another offensive rebound, the second for Tavion Banks.
And he did his work early right there. That's how you root out on the weak side.
Foul. He was defensively against Bruce Thornton and the Buckeyes on Wednesday night, but he's got 6 points, Austin, here in the early going. He's got 11 straight games scoring 6 or fewer.
Yeah, one of those interchangeable parts. He does what you need him to do game by game, and you know the scout changes. That's what Coach McCollum said. He locked into the scout against Bruce Thornton and executed it perfectly.
And the Lions deep into the bench. 2 shots to Stewart. 6 to shoot. DeLeon, he hits again, and we're tied at 13.
That is beautiful right there. The elevation got so high right there, was able to fade. That's what allowed for him to be able to convert on that deep threat.
Nittany Lions already 3 triples in this ball game. Combined against Rutgers and Nebraska, they only hit 7 in those 2 games.
Fulgaris' head was ahead of his feet right there, meaning he was off balance. Got to stay sound when you're driving to the rim.
Stirtz, nice move into the lane. And the bounce pass off the knee of a defender. DeLeon, he's got 3 of them. And the Nittany Lions have their first lead.
Feel that momentum snapping back in the direction of Penn State. Nice hit ahead. And DeLeon is just trusting the work that he's put in when nobody's around.
Isaiah Howard, that was beautiful. Banks set it up in the paint.
Opponents to around 64 points per game. Cale Combs, when you drill down into it, that effort against Bruce Thornton is what makes that happen. And for Penn State, ball pressure will be crucial. They get a lot of steals, and you got to be able to push the pace. They're not great in the half court, so you got to find ways to allow your defense to make your offense go.
DeLeon with 9 early points for Penn State. And Eli Rice not on the same page with Blackwood. So the 3rd turnover for Penn State. And you know, for Iowa, right? They're a team defensively, right? Best in the Big Ten. They only give it up 64 points again. Part of that is they play the slowest pace in the conference as well, and in the country.
Yeah, your offense is effectively helping you to be able to get back, set up, and load up against your opponent in that way. And I love when Coach McCollum, he's just a guy that they know who they are and they lean into it. They don't have a ton of rim protectors and shot blockers. They don't have the bounciest guys, but they're always going to be connected on that backside and help position and helping one another out.
Tunja driving down the lane, slip and fell, and Iowa trying to get off to the races. Howard left it, got it back, and he'll kick it up to the top to Stirtz. He's got the mismatch on Juric. He saw it, he delivered, couldn't finish.
That's one he's going to want back right there. He was salivating once he got the switch on Juric, attacked those feet, but then a little bit too much English and a clear lane drive, one he typically finishes.
Guarantee he recognized it before we did.
Well, if you're Juric, you recognize that you were on Stirtz Island in that situation. You got to move those feet.
He never comes off the floor, 37 minutes a game. Juric used his entire arm to push Tate Sage, and he's called for the offensive foul.
That's one of those ones where the guy who reacts is the one who gets nixed for the whistle. They're battling right in the paint right before the entry pass. And sometimes you don't get the benefit of the doubt when you're the big guy in that one-on-one dynamic.
I mean, you played in the post, Austin. I mean, you don't necessarily need that. He's got 35, 40 pounds on the freshman from Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's a little strategy right there. You don't want to get into arm wrestling. Stay below the basket. Use your feet to work around.
Sage knocks in the three. Hawkeyes so far today have hit 3 of 6. And they're 54% overall from the floor.
And again, the efficient skip pass cross court into the shooting pocket for their 6th assist already in the first half.
Iowa has answered Penn State's 9-0 run with an 8-0 run of its own. Approaching the midway point of the first half. Mingo has not scored.
And an individual who's only going to continue to get better, but one thing that separates him from other freshmen is him buying in defensively. That's typically things that you have a harder time acclimating to when you step up from the high school ranks to the Big Ten level.
He has more steals per game than anybody in the conference. Inside of 10 minutes in the first half, Maniau got it back out. Stirtz with 7 to shoot. Howard gets inside. Good defensive possession by the Nittany Lions.
Phenomenal on-ball defense by Mingo, keeping those numbers in front of the driver.
Tried to switch hands, and he's fouled. Well, he has been closer to 75% from the free throw line for most of his freshman season. That has become a struggle the last couple of weeks. Remember, Mingo broke his nose in practice 3 weeks ago, was wearing the mask. It is off now for the first time.
I think what you just said just speaks to the psychological aspect of being able to convert consistently from the charity stripe.
They each hit one couple possessions ago. Juric tracks it down. Nittany Lions, bottom of the Big Ten standings. Iowa trying to stay in that position for a double bye in the Big Ten tournament. They've been doing battle so far here in the first half. Both teams nip and tuck the whole way.
Feeling out 2 different, unique styles.
Reed, the high floater. A lot of dribbling for the big guy. Step back. Hey, I got to shoot this.
That's a bailout right there, because that wasn't a lot of continuity on that possession, especially on the weak side. A lot of staring and watching, and Reed's able to get a step back to go.
Already 5 triples. They had 7 combined the last 2 games. They lost Stirtz, and that's the one guy you can't lose.
Yeah, you got to have your antennas to number 14 at all times.
7 points, 3 assists here in the early going for Bennett Stirtz. And another foul in that first half. So, hey, the guys had a couple days off, got back at it Tuesdays, had a great week of practice. And they felt rested. And Austin, the first halves of those 2 games, they scored 20 against Rutgers and Nebraska. There's 8 minutes to go in the first half against the best defensive team in the conference, and they're already at 23.
Yeah, I mean, it's building armor, as he said. You got to learn through baptism by fire as the youngest team in the entire Big Ten Conference typically you get there years 2 and 3, but this team is so predicated and relying on freshmen being successful. You gotta play through your lumps, bumps, and bruises sometimes.
Howard got the offensive board. Fulgaris tracked down a 3rd and 10. Hawkeyes so efficient on offense when they are rolling. Cannot give them a 3rd opportunity. 6 to shoot, ball moving. Howard trying to get in the paint. He's got 3 to shoot. He's stuck. Stirtz launches.
You did. You dined me off in the paint with a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
I slammed it home, so I appreciate you.
I had the Jones in last night for a fluffer nutter milkshake, but it was 10-15. They were close. 24-23, Penn State out of the timeout. Great play, but Reed left his feet a little early.
Sure did. He was vertical right there. Jumped maybe a second too soon. That should have been an easy conversion.
And it's Stirtz directing traffic as he always does into the corner for Banks. Fulgaris unable to get on track. He was so good against the Buckeyes off the bench on Wednesday. Season high 20 points for the transfer from Robert Morris. Bennett Stirtz got the contact. Couldn't get the whistle, couldn't finish. Dillion already hit 3 triples here in the first half. Back out to Stewart, and he is.
Excellent decision by Dillion. He's attacking those elbows, collapsing the defense. And once everybody has all eyes on him, inside out, Dominic Stewart stepping into it confident.
Stewart and Dillion have hit 5 triples here in the first half. Mike Rhodes wanted an offensive foul, didn't get it. Approaching 6 minutes to go. Koch in the corner, regathered, and he has hit a couple. And if they can get Cooper Koch going down the stretch here in the rest of the Big Ten regular season, that is going to be massive for the Hawkeyes.
Absolutely. Shooting around Bennett Stirtz is a recipe for success. The only returning scholarship player is off to a good start here at State College.
And you know he's shooting threes. Nearly 70% of his shots come from beyond the arc.
And those corners are lethal.
And he had been so good the first 20 games of the year. Over 40% for Koch beyond the arc. It's been such a struggle the last month. This time it's Howard for 3.
It's a confidence thing, though. Ebbs and flows. It's a long season. You're going to have spurts where you're playing well. You're going to have injuries that you're going to have to battle back from. Got to keep your confident approach at an even keel.
Iowa's largest lead in the first half was 6. Penn State has battled back. At 5 lead changes, been a really good first half.
Good ball movement here. Got to find ways to try to get 2 feet in the paint if you're Penn State.
Now Dillion worked his way. He played off of 2 feet. He's in double figures.
And he gets to that Barkley, 6'5", $195. He can post up opposing guards and even some opposing bigs right there. Makes him a very unique Swiss Army type like a weapon.
Penn State shoots 62% from the floor here in the opening half.
Good response.
Hanging deep against Gianni with 6 to shoot.
Good defense by Gianni, staying vertical.
Fulgaris didn't see the help coming into the corner. Koch to beat the horn.
That's a guy that, again, you're going to have to stay loaded to where he is. You're going to have to make decisions on the help side with how he's shooting the basketball right now.
And a foul. It is on Tavion Banks. It's his first. 3 triples here in the first half for Cooper Koch.
Phenomenal pass right there by Fulgaris. That's probably one of his better qualities at 6'10". Obviously, he can shoot it, but he understands feel, and with a spread floor with Bennett Stirtz out there at your 1, you're going to have opportunities to knock down threes if you're Koch.
And McCollum said, look, Cooper Koch, the Wisconsin game, I think he was off. Last game against Ohio State, he said his shots were on. They were just long.
To tie it all back to what we were talking about with Coach pregame, this is why you don't change your lineups, because you never know when it's going to be somebody's day.
Media timeout coming on the next whistle. 4 to shoot for Dillion. He backs up over Hawson, who is in the game for the first time
It's a heat check right there by DeLeon. Good job staying in the vicinity by Hassan.
Brendan Hassan hasn't played the last 3 games, the transfer from Kansas State. You know when he's on the floor, he's in danger to shoot the 3.
Patience right there. Want to get yourself into the flow when you're fresh in the game. Get up and down the floor a couple times.
Bennett deep in the shot clock. Stirtz got some space, and he can't hit. Bennett Stirtz started this ball game hitting both of his first 2 shots. He has missed his last 5. Out to Tunja. Inside of 3 minutes to go here in the opening half. DeLeon, he has been the best offensive player for Penn State all afternoon.
Yeah, help isn't coming. You drive until you get cut off, and Iowa's not doing a good job of keeping him away from the paint, and he's just rising up and knocking it down.
Emi, 13 points. Stirtz again. You don't see Iowa take quick shots in a possession very often, and an offensive foul.
I think elite guard play is the primary driver of a deep NCAA tournament run. How primed is this Iowa Hawkeyes team to make a run driven by Bennett Stirtz?
Now we'll get some of those thoughts there from Mike. Coming up at the half, he will be in studio. The halftime report coming up in just a little bit more than 2 minutes. Rick Pizzo, Earl Watson coming up. There is Stirtz right on cue, prime guard play, and he's got the experience. Austin, I mean, he was with Drake last year and Ben McCollum, and they beat Missouri as an 11 seed.
Yeah, he's already battle tested. He's been there before. I think that this team has the recipe to be able to make some noise just because of his individual ability to make impossible shots.
Find inside, Juric laid it in.
That ball was on a rope right by the ear of the defender. Good job cutting with purpose right there by Juric.
This has been the cleanest Penn State's offense has looked in quite some time. They are shooting 63%, but it's that end of the floor, and the confidence is building. Cooper Koch with 4 triples here in the first half.
Cooking, and all from the same area on the court. This is Coach Ben McCollum putting Koch in areas to succeed.
He already, Austin, has a career-high 4 threes, and we're not even at halftime.
Never know when it's going to be your day as a player. Continue to approach the game in a respectful manner, and the basketball gods will pay you back at some point.
See if they can try and find him. He is deep. Into the corner, Austin for 3. Now, don't forget, coming up, it's the halftime show presented by State Farm. Rick Pizzo, Earl Watson, and that man we just talked to, Mike DeCourcy. Their thoughts on this first half. And a huge day around the conference. Mike talked about the bubble teams. USC's got Nebraska at home later today here on Big Ten Network. So a big day start to finish here. Down to 7. Freddie DeLeon leading all scorers with 13. Down to 3. One-on-one, launches, no, Banks clears, 8 to play in the half. Stirtz down the lane and scooped it in. Nobody stopped ball, and that is how the half will come to an end. He hasn't been taking threes the last 5-6 games because he had been struggling, but he hit his first 3, and that was a big confidence boost too.
Mix it up. He used the ability to get something going from deep to then attack closeouts to try to get things going in the mid-range as well.
Juric down low, couldn't finish, but he does draw the foul for Maniau. That is his first. So Ivan Juric, the freshman from Croatia, will go to the free throw line. The Nittany Lions leading rebounder. He struggled around the rim today a little bit.
Yeah, he has, but he's been battling. And Coach Mike Rhodes said that's one of his best qualities is he's a competitor. And he's going to bring it every single day, every single practice, every single time out on the court. So next play mentality for him. It'll all come together and pay off. He's still only in his first year here, obviously.
Missed them both. A ton of free throws in the first half. Nittany Lions took 6. Hawkeyes only went to the line twice. Weren't a ton of fouls called, so the only player who had 2 was Kale Combs, and Koch continues, and now has a career high. 15 already in the game.
He's established real estate in those corners. That is his sweet spot. Nice job by Maniau, fighting to get open early on in the possession and then playing the facilitator role.
He is 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. Out of traffic, DeLeon forced it up a little bit. And we didn't see a lot of Kale Combs. He went to the bench when he picked up that second foul. Remember, he was the one who had 6 early points in the game.
Yeah, he got these guys going, but guess who has that DeLeon matchup? It's Kale Combs, who they deploy when they need to stop the opposing team's best player.
Maniau drives right at the lane and couldn't put it over the rim.
Got caught in between the left and right-handed layup.
Mingo quickly to the other end.
Needed more from him, and he is coming out in attack mode. He completes that big 3 for Penn State, averaging in double figures.
It's nice, fine down low to Maniau.
You see his eyes always up on the rim. Stirtz, that is, thinking as a shot blocker that he's going up for the layup. He drops it off at the last second.
Trapped in the corner. 2 minutes gone by here in the second half. Juric down low, working on Maniau. Draws the foul.
Able to draw 2 because he's always a scoring threat. Gotta always drive to score it, so then you can become a facilitator.
Back to a 4-point game. 4 ties in the first half, 8 lead changes. Banks got Juric to leave his feet, and then it was all the rim for him.
Nice little hesitation right there. Poise in the paint, playing off 2, especially against bigger defenders.
Reed trying to back down Koch. Got every piece of the rim and the bucket.
That is a tough vet move. Gets to that Barkley right at the right elbow. Like the swing through to create separation without picking up the offensive foul.
He has been averaging more than 15 points a game over the course of the last month and a half. And the foul, it's called on Josh Reed. That is his first.
And Reed operating in close quarters. He is prolific from 15 and within, and he lets Koch know you can knock down as many threes as you want, but you are too small, my boy.
And that hand gesture, was that your thing 14 years ago?
It wasn't a thing 14 years ago.
Yeah, but you just literally looked him in the eyes, stared him down.
Yeah, at that point. It's gained a lot of steam over the last 5 to 6 years.
Mingo commits the foul. That is his second. More subtle, yeah. Especially the way that Josh Reed did. He almost hit it.
Keep it Bennett Stirtz style, like a silent assassin. Yeah. Just run back like you've been there before, you know?
And Mingo 6 points here this afternoon. Picked up his second foul.
Ooh, high-low action right there. That was a good flip of the hips.
Stirtz said that that was deflected. Ben McCollum has not signaled for the challenge just yet.
Put the pressure on the film review. See if they have an argument here. Not a debate.
Yeah, no indication yet that Ben McCollum is going to challenge that call. What do you think here? Let's take a quick look.
Looks like I think Juric creates any contact.
I think so.
That pass needs to be clean right there. You might have a 3-point look.
And Stewart completely showcased where he was going with the basketball, and Iowa forced the turnover. Koch again from 3. And is staying on this end of the floor. It is a foul on the Nittany line.
Good closeout right there by Caden Mingo, taking up the airspace of Koch. When you got shooters that get into the flow, you got to make them drivers by getting out when they're going up for their attempts and making them second guess.
Stewart, who was called for the foul.
2 guys battling for the basketball on the weak side.
Alvaro Fulgaris into the ballgame after scoring 20 against the Buckeyes. He was scoreless in the first half. That is knocked out of bounds. Still 7 to shoot here for Iowa.
Penn State's being very aggressive in these ball screen situations, pushing the screener earlier into the action, trying to speed up whoever's coming off of it.
Fulgaris, you know, Ben McCollum talked about it this week, the trajectory always going up, but they certainly could use a little bit more consistency. And they've been looking for that consistent second and third person pretty much all season. Reed right to the rim.
The right decision right there. Using all 6'8", 230 against the smaller Kel Combs at 6'4", 205. If they're not going to step up and stop it, you take it all the way to the rim.
Trying to find Fulgaris down low. The pass to...
Has that tournament experience, obviously, at Auburn, averaging 18 and a half a game, leading the charge.
For Iowa, how important is this game here today? They come into the day 8th in the Big Ten standings. That would earn the double bye. Trying to win on the road in a place where Hawkeyes have only won once here in the last 6 trips to Happy Valley. Obviously that with Fran McCaffrey. This is a different coaching staff, different style of play, different Penn State team. They have not had a lead and has approached double figures here on the road, and it has been more like this pretty much the whole game. Juric, use the rim, and we're tied.
Position battle right there, quick spin to get to the opposite side, and that's where the lack of rim protection is hurting the Hawkeyes.
Now, Penn State starters have scored all 45 of their points. They have played very well on the offensive end today. Banks drove into a double team. Stewart got a piece of it.
Phenomenal job being a secondary help defender by Stewart. Got that at the last second.
Mingo drives right at Stirtz. Good defense.
Remain vertical right there. If you're Mingo, come down to 2, kick it out, get back into something better.
Back out to Combs, takes the 3. Stirtz crashed the glass, lost the ball. Nittany Lions with a chance to take the lead, and Reed draws the foul on Fulgaris.
Take one right there by Fulgaris. With a Reed that's dribbling at you with a head full of steam. You want to get the Nittany Lions playing against your half-court defense. Try to make them work for something more difficult.
Penn State today shooting 61%. Remember, Iowa, again, part of this, the way that they play, but they give up the fewest points per game in the conference. Reed trying to use his strength on Stirtz. Back out to Mingo, needed it to go. Nittany Lions lead.
They're shooting it at a 22% clip on the year, but it's something about stepping into a 3 confidently, especially when it's straight on. Increases those percentage.
It's a 9-0 Penn State run. Fulgaris, not
fairness to Tavion Banks. He's been occupied on the defensive end trying to slow down Ivan Juric. That takes away your legs when you got to go down and try to be effective on the offensive end.
offensive foul. Juric was trying to get position. Instead, he's called for a second.
Man, Juric came in like a heat-seeking missile, trying to establish his position, but can't do that. Also, good gamesmanship right there by Fulgaris, selling it right in front of this officiating crew.
So 5 fouls here on Penn State. And Iowa, who is a 77% shooting team at the line, they're working their way fouls here in the second half against the Nittany Lions.
The crucial stat to monitor.
And that is authority for his first points this afternoon.
He's been looking for ways to sneak into those crevices. A sky hook, and he turned that hand over, hung on that rim.
Used all of his 6'10" length. Shooting to the skip pass to Dillion, but Banks right in his hip. Reed, he hit a high arcer in the first half, and he hit it again!
That is nasty. 12 straight double-figure games for Reed, and He's keeping a good thing going here at home.
He has 14. Has hit a couple from beyond the arc, and the Nittany Lions swing back in front. And we're tied again. Banks has the answer. 6 ties, 11 lead changes. What a way to start your Big Ten Saturday.
That is a dime, phenomenal 45 cut across the face of the defense. Keeping it simple right there for Banks.
Bunja wanted it in the corner. Reed dribbling on Koch. Found Gianni, and he gathered and put it in.
Gianni, another one of those experienced transfers. Sees the defense conversion and gets to the opposite side for the guaranteed basket.
If you get points from Sasha Gianni, that's a bonus.
Yeah, you're playing with house money right there. Penn State's playing well offensively.
Volgaris is
the game. He said his unique separator in that conversation for Big Ten Player of the Year is he picks his spot, lets the game come to him, and then decides when he has to take over.
Great hands in the lane. Isaiah Howard. And a block. Dillion got all the way back. Now the effort has been sensational. Both teams this afternoon. Back to Stirtz, driving on Kunja, and right on cue, knew when to took over.
Yeah, he could have forced it early in that possession. He had 2 right in front of him, passed it up, got it back in the flow. That quick first step is always allowing him to get past your hip.
And they share the basketball so well. And another steal to a breakout again. Timeout, Penn State.
Learning how to make those winning invisible plays to be impactful. When they're not running sets for you, you got to go out there and earn it or find ways to be impactful, and he's getting it done over the last couple of minutes.
Penn State's got to have an answer. It seems like every time that they have turned it over, it has led to Iowa points. Hawkeyes 19 points off the 9 Penn State turnovers.
Got to be more sound, chin this rock, definitive in your pass.
Now shot, Ingo was still down on the floor. Dillion had to switch in midair. Uric cleans it up. As he was still playing with that mask against Rutgers before they went to Nebraska. And, you know, get used to it. He's like, yeah, I get used to it. I said, hey, any chance you want to wear it through the season? No, I can't wait to take this thing off. Out of bounds, back to Penn State.
Makes me think of every player that had that 10-game stretch of having to wear 10, 15 games. Nobody chooses to wear it after that for reason being.
Remember, Richard Hamilton stuck through it for the entire next couple seasons.
Yeah, maybe he's the one-off. But I think about LeBron and the black mask down in Miami. A lot of condensation building up when you're getting up and down the court.
Is knocked out of bounds by the Hawkeyes.
Hey, got to kick that basketball out. With Isaiah Howard diving down, stunting at you. Make him pay, kick it out to shooters.
Reed got an open look, knocked it in. The seesaw back Penn State's direction.
Reed now 3 of 4 from beyond the triple. As about well-balanced as you can be, mixing it up from deep and from 15 and within.
He leads all scorers with 17. And he's got the steal on the other end.
Anticipation, waited for that basketball to leave the deliverer's hands to make a play on.
It almost feels like he thought, hey, this is the opportunity. It is my time to take over this basketball game. I got all the freshmen, the youth that Penn State has played with all year. Late in this season, it has become Josh Reed's team. And a foul called on the Hawkeyes. He has been sensational over the last month and a half of this season.
Yeah, he's been a saving grace. Coach Rhodes talked about everybody's goal within the Big Ten is to get old in season and veteran players that have been there before. Well, Josh Reed is the example. The Cincinnati transfer is showing him how it's done.
And they throw it away. 10 turnovers now for the Nittany Lions. 5 of those in the first half, 5 in the first 11 minutes and change in the second half. Stirtz patiently penetrating, back out to Volgaris. Never online.
Short rim right there, more legs needed. Hasn't been able to get into a rhythm from deep. Like to see him continue to attack the paint with that size.
to Reed, using his size. Steps back. Lefty shot! Josh Reed gives Penn State its largest lead.
I like how he's opening up, surveying the floor. And then the one-legged runner, Josh Reed. I'm sorry, I was not familiar with your game.
He is approaching another career high and a foul.
This has just been a matchup over the last 5-6 years that has always been a stylistic terror for the Hawkeyes coming to State College.
And they have lost 5 of their last 6 trips into this building. They are down by 2. Mingo is back on the floor after that short rest. And he hit his head on Urich's thigh. Stewart got his man in the air and finishes.
That is excellent. So well disciplined by Stewart, getting to 2 and using the shot fake. You don't want to go up wildly right there. It lowers the shooting percentages of that shot going in.
Now can Iowa find the stroke? Instead, it's Hassan. I was going to ask about Koch because he has kind of disappeared. At 4 threes in the first half, career high 15 points. Haven't heard from him much lately.
I think we're approaching Bennett Stirtz takeover time. You got to have that one guy who's able to separate and get you a dub, and obviously he has the ability.
It's Maniau into the front court and finishes. Now, Penn State today shoots 65% from the floor. Austin, when they have hung on to the ball, their offense has been electric. Iowa has really feasted as they have all season on turnovers.
They're reading eyes like defensive backs. Case in point, last time down, Maniau saw that the entire way and turns defense into offense.
Mingo had it stripped from behind. And now Iowa pushing pace. Koch never left his feet.
Good decision right there.
Gives it up to Maniau, back out to Hassan. We've seen action for the first time in 4 games, and a great decision to find Combs along the baseline.
That is so patient, and he waits for the dunker spot to open up. An excellent job sneaking behind the defense right there by Combs, so poised.
7th tie of the game, 13 lead changes. Eli Rice can't hit, back the other way for Iowa. And you almost think, too, that the pace that Iowa plays allows you to take that deep breath in moments like this.
Oh, for sure.
Back out to Stirtz, who's right down the line a ton. Less than 1 trip per game, but he hits to convert the 3-point play. It's a quick 7-0 run, and Iowa's back up 3. We approach 5 minutes to go. Penn State has been in a lot of these here against some of the best teams in the conference. Trying to finish one off. Stewart. Tough bounce pass. Urich wasn't ready for it. Couldn't find it.
Saw a couple possessions previous. Stewart getting into the teeth of the defense. Going as a scorer. And that play, I think, a little bit too unselfish. Got to go as a scorer first, and then you play facilitate.
Let's stay with that token pressure, maybe to get Iowa a little bit sped up into the front court. All the basketball that Bennett Stirtz has seen in his career.
2-3 zone here.
They read it, they found it, and Maniau just rocked the rim.
That's how you execute against the zone, by attacking the free throw line, getting somebody there that's poised under pressure that can also drive and dish and get it to the dunker spot.
Nittany Lions have to have an answer, have to stop the bleeding. Down 9-0 Iowa run. Urich is fouled. He's just the 5th, though, on the Hawkeyes here in the second half.
Good job by Cale Combs getting into the spot to operate against a 2-3. Free throws and elbows. You catch there, you draw 3 defenders, and then you can play fun basketball in the dunker position on the backside.
Stirtz was on the ground. He thought Stewart shoved him to the floor. But Iowa knocked it out of bounds anyway. Now the contributions have come in spurts, right? It was Koch in the first half. Maniau has been big here in the second half. He's got 8 points. He's got 20 21. His second 20-point game in the last 3 contests. And it's back to a 1-possession game. Stirtz into the corner for Combs. Driving, pulling, missing. Tunja can't find it. It's on the floor. And a tie-up will stay Iowa basketball.
I like the possession right there for the Hawkeyes. Multiple unselfish efforts. Stirtz gets close enough to the lane where he could have taken a contested shot, but 3 or 4 ball reversals, and you get a good look. Get Combs dive into the floor. Not only do you get the floor burn, but you earn your team an extra possession.
Tunja getting some late minutes here for Penn State as well with the injury to Cade Mingo. Stirtz looked over to Hassan with 4. He steps and hoists, and another offensive rebound by Koch.
Long shots lead to long rebounds. Good job by Koch tracking that from across the court. He came from deep in the corner.
9 offensive rebounds for the Hawkeyes. They've only led to 5 second chance points. This is a crucial possession. Combs is wide open. And Maniac gives him another chance.
Effort is in favor of Iowa over the last 30 seconds. They are just quicker to the basketball.
You mentioned it, that pass is what we maybe taken for granted. Stirtz knocked it off of his foot, and it's Penn State basketball. They weathered the storm, and they played nearly 90 seconds of defense.
That is phenomenal defense right here in the help, in the gap by Reed. Penn State anticipating catching the drive right there. Able to earn themselves another opportunity trying to tie this thing up.
Bennett Stirtz has scored just 2 points here in the second half. He has 20 in 10 of the last 11 games, but here this afternoon he's sitting on 14. Tough pass into the corner, offensive foul. And you saw it coming. Juric was trying to get to the spot as the pass was getting there. That is his 4th.
That's a tough one. You've already done your job if you're Juric by being in the vicinity. I'm not sure you need to go out and actually create the contact because you're in the way. So just stay big and in the way of Stirtz, and you allow for Stewart to get a shot up.
Penn State now up to 14 turnovers. 9 of them have come here in the second half. Juric playing with 4 fouls, and Maniau knows it. Inside of 2 minutes to go in this ball game. Hawkeyes trying to get one on the road. Stirtz. No, Juric has the board.
Good D right there, Reed. Not a lot of shots that Stirtz isn't capable of making, but he made that one much more difficult.
Again, same spot at Stewart. Back to Reed,
and bruises with the March calendar year here.
Groats team here at home, had Michigan on the ropes, had Michigan State on the ropes, and here on the last day of February, they've taken Iowa all the way down the stretch in a 1-point game. Trying to pull the upset here at home as we head to March. Deep in the shot clock, Stirtz to Hassan. Trying to score, can't do it. It's up in the air, rebound the board, and Penn State with a chance to go back in front. Juric faked the 3, down low to Reed, finishes, Nittany Lions up a point.
Continues to use that big body to create separation, and when your star freshman is out, you got to go above and beyond. Nice job.
Is it Bennett Stirtz time? He has struggled here in the second half. The floater, no! And Reed right there, and there's about a 4-second differential. And Austin, I think you have to foul.
Yeah, you got to get into that mode right now.
But Ben McCollum's out on the floor. He's doing jumping jacks on the sideline, telling his team to foul.
Be able to make a play for his team.
Penn State has been waiting all season for a huge win. Stirtz has the basketball, and he drives, and he flows, and we're tied. Oh, the lane just parted, and we are tied with 8.6